kids, welcome to the table. Guess what? We're not playing Frosthaven tonight, but that's okay. We had an illness and somebody else had to be out for a meeting, so it ended up just being Jason and I, and we are happy to play games.
Yep.
So we're going to tackle a game that neither of us knows how to play. It was fantastic. Twilight Struggle. You may recall that before Michael left, he and I had a disastrous first attempt at this game that we missed a significant setup step that I had kind of put in the back of my head while I was setting up and then forgot about it. So we're going to go by the rules and make sure that we get all of our setup stuff done and we follow the rules properly, and then do a quick walkthrough of what we can do in a turn. And I'm sure if anybody cares to throw reminders at us in the chat, you're more than welcome to correct us. Shroom, how you doing? Good to see you today. Yeah, I know we're not playing Frosthaven. I hope you are set up to play your copy so that at least you can have some fun with it, and we will entertain you with our Cold War shenanigans over here. How's that sound? Let's see. I'm going to give the look down here now so you guys can see what we're doing. I'm going to try to set this up so that we can do kind of a two-player session here. Backlining is not great, but that should go away when the sun goes down. So we'll go from there. But yeah, all the action is going to be right here in front of us. So we got the board here, we got the players here, so we should be good to go, right? So game setup. I shuffled the early war cards already and dealt 8 to each player. Okay. The China card is here since I'm the USSR, but that card is going to flip back and forth as it gets used. It doesn't count towards your hand size, though. So whenever you draw cards back up, this does not count whoever has it.
Right.
Okay. USSR sets up first. I've already placed my preset influence markers where they belong, which isn't too many of them. And then I get 6 more influence markers to place anywhere in Eastern Europe. So just to familiarize you a little bit, I think you watched the video, but we can talk a little bit about the map, right? So there are regions of influence, right, that we're trying to control between the U.S. and the USSR. Classic Cold War, right? And funny story, I also didn't set up Frosthaven tonight. Excellent. I'm so glad that we're all on the same page tonight. So you've got Central America, South America, Europe, Africa, Middle East, Asia, and Southeast Asia. Okay. Different regions have different values as far as scoring goes, and the scoring cards will come up in the course of the game. And when the scoring card comes up, you pause and do the scoring evaluation for whatever region is being scored at that time.
Right.
So that's one of the tricks I noticed about this game is that it's easy to get distracted or focused into one area, especially if your opponent is, you're kind of reacting to each other a little bit. And then that scoring card comes up and there is no influence in that area. And so no scoring happens. When if you had just taken a couple of, opportunities to maybe take some small moves, you could have gotten there. So something to think about is kind of trying to figure out how to spread your influence across the globe.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, this is the step that we missed before, which is that we get to place a certain number of influence anywhere in an area. Now, to clarify these tokens here real quick, they have 2 sides. The solid color side of your faction represents control, and you have control of a country when you have more influence there than your opponent. Okay. But there must be at least 1 influence for you to control it. If there's no influence, nobody controls it. It's uncontrolled. Okay. If you don't control it, your markers flip over to the white side to show that you have influence there. So if you have even number of influence between both players, it's contested. There's no control. It's just all influence. And actually, I might be wrong about the full control. I think it is more influence than a player. One player has more influence than another. Control. A superpower has control of a region if it controls more countries in a region than its opponent, and controls all the battleground countries in the region. So that's regional control, right? Not that's for regional scoring. So when you're talking about these values, presence, domination, and control, okay? Presence means a superpower has presence in a region if it controls at least one country in that region. So you have to control one country.
Right.
Domination A superpower achieves domination of a region if it controls more non-battleground countries and battleground countries in a region than the opponent, and at least one of each. So battleground countries have the blue background. Non-battleground countries have, or not regular, have the kind of white, yellow-white background, okay? So when you're looking for domination, you control more countries than anybody else and at least one of each. And then control means that you control more countries in a region than your opponent, and you control all battleground countries. And you can see each region, it's worth a certain amount.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Some of them are better at certain points than others. Europe is one of the most important. If you get control in Europe, you win automatically. Okay. But let's see, it's control of a country. I just wanted to clarify. Is each country on the map is either considered controlled or uncontrolled. A country is controlled by a player if the player's influence in the country is greater than or equal to the country's stability number. Okay, so that's the number in the upper right corner. So you have to have at least or more influence than that number. Okay, so like right now, the U.S. controls UK because they have influence equal to or greater than the stability number. Okay, and the player's influence in the country exceeds their opponent's influence in that country by at least the country's stability number. So not only do you, so all I would have to do is put one influence in the UK. Not that I can do that right now, but if I were to put one influence in the UK, the US would no longer control the UK,
Right.
because you would not have
5
stability above mine.
Yeah.
Right. So that's an important concept in this game. So now I'm going to put out my 6 influence tokens here in East Europe. So Europe is divided. East Europe is the light purple. Western Europe is the dark purple.
Okay.
Austria is split.
Right.
And Finland is split. But I do start with I guess it's influence, not control, because again, it doesn't exceed. And I should mark these as such. And same for you. I put yours out as well. So these are influence, but not control.
Because I have to exceed
The stability number. Correct. You do control Australia, though. Perfect.
And does that flip? It doesn't exceed.
It means it has to be equal to or greater than the stability number and your opponent's influence by the stability number. So now I'm going to do influence. Let's see. Let's go. I don't know if it's wise to spread myself out necessarily. I think I'm going to put 2 in Austria. So there is my influence. Now, the U.S. of course has their influence, and like I said, I already put out all of your set influence values, and now you have a stack of 7 out there that you can begin to distribute around West Europe.
Right.
So the dark purple. Just over here doing silly things with chits, stacking them to the rafters. Okay. Are Are you satisfied? Oh, so you
I don't know anything different.
okay. You put 2 in Italy, so you can go ahead and flip those over because that means you control it.
Okay.
And I mean, the important point, the important thing to note here is that as you're trying to spread influence, a lot of it has to do with what you're connected to currently.
Mm-hmm.
So the lines show the connections, not proximity. So you notice, like right here, Egypt and Jordan are not connected, even though they're very close to each other.
Yeah.
There's no line connecting them, so they're not connected. But like Algeria and France, they are connected.
Right.
So the green lines represent connections within a territory. The red dotted lines represent connections between territories, and then the black lines represent connections between superpowers and their surrounding territories. So you have to look at those lines when it talks about being connected. Okay.
Between superpowers, what do you mean?
No, like superpowers connected to.
Okay.
So the superpowers themselves are not. They're not contestable spaces.
Right.
But that shows you what they are connected to as far as being able to directly influence from those locations.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the U.S. will always be able to influence Canada, Mexico, Cuba, and Japan.
Right.
And the USSR will always be able to influence Finland, Poland, Romania, Afghanistan, and North Korea. This Chinese Civil War space is for an additional game element that we're not going to play.
Okay.
And I don't even know if it would affect us or not tonight, but since we're learning it anyway, I figured it didn't make any sense to throw extra things in there.
Right.
There were also like 7 optional cards for the decks that I did not include. I took them out. Okay? So, some things to point out also. DEFCON status is currently 5. Okay? Which means that there are no restrictions on what actions you can take throughout the world. But that DEFCON status also represents how many military operations you are required to perform in a turn. And for every number under the DEFCON status you don't perform, you give your opponent a victory point. Okay? The victory point is a differential track.
Mm-hmm.
So, we do the math as we go. If any player gets to 20 victory points, they win the game. Okay? There is also a space race. And as you advance on the space race, you will gain additional benefits.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember what they all mean necessarily. 2 ops, roll 1 to 3. 2 ops, roll 1 to 4. I'm not. Oh, you have to spend 2 operations to advance on those, if I recall correctly.
Then the split numbers victory points.
Yeah, for the first one and second one to get there. But then you can see also may play 2 space race cards per turn. Option opponent choose and show headline card first. So in the headline phase, if you have headlines, your opponent has to do theirs first. May discard 1 held card. So normally you can't discard cards.
Okay.
And then you may take an additional action round. Well, it's actually just 8 period. If you get to the very end of the space race or the space station, then it bumps your action points. Usually, I mean, the first 3 turns we're only taking 6 actions.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get to the mid-war, then it bumps up to 7 actions.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to get 8 is to finish the space race. Okay? As we go throughout, like turn 4, we'll add the mid-war game cards. So right now we just have the early war cards. At turn 4, we add the mid-war cards, and then at turn 8, we add the late war cards.
Okay.
We probably won't get there. I mean, to be honest, we're not going to play a full game tonight. It's going to be like we'll probably be a couple hours and be like, I think we got a feel of it, and maybe come at it again later. We might not be very slow at this game. I mean, we can read cards. It's just a matter of figuring out what these things do. So let's talk about that. Since this game is driven by cards, this is really where the action is. So on a turn, you can use the cards for different things. So there are events. Your card is split into 2 pieces, and I'll just grab a mid-war card here so you don't have to show your own. So this mid-war card, right? It says Portuguese Empire crumbles. Add 2 USSR influence in both the Southeast African states and Angola. So this card is an event, okay, but it's also an operation card based on the number, okay. If you play a card for operations, and its event is associated only with your opponent based on the color of this star. So red for Russia, white for the U.S., or split for both.
Right.
If I wanted to use this card for operation points to do things on the board, you would get this if it were for you.
Right.
You would still get the event.
Yep.
Okay. And if this card is played as an event, it is removed from the game because it has an asterisk. So this is a one-time event.
Right.
It says remove from play. There are other cards that don't say that will get discarded and they can get shuffled back into the deck. Okay? So on a given turn, I'm sorry, it's not white, it's, it's white. Yeah, red or white. So this one, like, for instance, if I were to play this as an operation card, you would get this ability.
Mm-hmm. Right.
A little taster. Yeah, a little teaser. Just a taste, a sampling, if you will. So if you play a card for operations and its event is associated only with your opponent, the event still occurs, and the card, if it has an asterisk with the event title, is removed. When playing a card for operations and it triggers your opponent's event, your opponent implements the event text as if they had played the card themselves. The phasing player, so the one who's taking their action, always decides whether the event occurs before or after operations are conducted. So if I'm playing the card and saying, all right, I'm going to give you an event, I get to choose whether it's now or after I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If a card played triggers an opponent's event, but that event cannot occur because of a prerequisite card has not been played, or the condition of the event has not been met, the event does not occur. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there are cards that will prevent other events.
Right.
That will rule them out. If in this instant events marked, they're asked to return the discard pile. So if it would be a removable event and it doesn't trigger, it goes to the discard pile. It doesn't get removed. Dicey says it's consume beverages. Thank you, Dicey, for the reminder to consume. Appreciate that. How are you tonight? You having a good day? If a card play triggers an opponent's event, but the event results is no effect, the event is still considered played. Doing all right. Good, good. I saw you're playing Concordia next week. Excellent. I'd like to say that I might be able to get into that, but probably won't get on in time because I'll be busy signing off on my stream. So, but I'll look forward to watching a little bit. Okay, so those are some rules for card play. So you can use your card for operations, right, to place influence markers out on the board. You place influence markers one at a time. However, they must be added to or placed adjacent to friendly markers that were in place at the start of your action round. Markers placed when required by an event are not subject to this restriction. So it costs 1 operation point to place an influence marker in a country that you control or that is uncontrolled. It costs 2 operations points to place an influence marker in an enemy-controlled country. If a country's control status changes while placing influence markers, additional markers placed during that action round are placed at the lower cost. So, if I were in a position to be able to place, say, an influence marker in Italy, well, actually I am. So I could, if I were to try to place an influence marker in Italy, the first influence marker would cost me 2 operations points because you control it.
Right.
But then at that point, me putting the influence in there removes your control, and then each additional influence I place would only cost 1.
Right.
Okay? Influence markers may always be placed in countries adjacent to your superpower, which we talked about. Your superpower is always available for adjacency to be able to put influence from. Okay? Influence markers are treated like cash. You can break large denominations into smaller ones at any time. Additional, the number of influence markers included in the game is not an absolute limit. You can use other markers if you need to. I would hope we wouldn't need to. There's a lot of them. So another thing you can do is a realignment roll. And again, this is operations points. So really, your cards are either an event, just the event, right? Everything else, you're spending them as points to use to these other actions. Fair?
Okay.
And those actions are on your reference card there to your left. So a realignment roll reduces enemy influence in a country. To attempt a realignment roll, you need not have any influence in the target country or in an adjacent country, although this improves the chance of success greatly. However, your opponent must have influence markers in the target country. So you use a card for a realignment roll. The player may complete each roll before declaring the next target. Countries may be targeted for realignment more than once per action round. It costs 1 operations point to make a realignment roll, which is is your die. Each player rolls a die, and the high roller may remove the difference between the rolls from their opponent's influence in the target country. So you could lose influence if your roll goes particularly badly.
But only if I pick a country where I have influence.
Well, where both of us would have influence technically. So
I
like,
thought you said it didn't have to be a country that I had influence in.
it doesn't have to be, no.
Yeah.
And in which case, then the differential, you wouldn't lose anything because it's only them that would suffer. Ties are considered a draw and no markers are removed. Each player modifies his die roll +1 for each adjacent controlled country, and +1 if they have more influence in the target country than their opponent. So there is a benefit to you choosing countries where we are contesting.
Right.
+1 if their superpower is adjacent to the target country. So realignment is all about direct targeting of a territory, whether you have influence or not. Adjacent influence and control helps boost your roll. Okay, so like if you wanted to attempt a realignment roll in Austria, for instance, you would get a +1 for controlling Italy in adjacency. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coup attempts. A coup represents operations short of full-scale war to change the composition of a target's country's government. To attempt a coup, you need not have any influence in the target country or in an adjacent country. However, your opponent must have influence markers in the target country. So again, same rules as a realignment roll.
Right.
To resolve a coup attempt, multiply the stability number of the target country by 2, then roll a die and add the operations points on the card to it. If the modified die roll is greater than the doubled stability number, the coup is successful. Otherwise, it fails. If the coup is successful, remove opposing influence markers equal to the difference between the modified die roll and the stability number from the target country. This is why it's very difficult to destabilize the UK or Australia, because they have very high numbers. Japan. If there are insufficient opposing influence markers to remove, add your own influence markers to make the difference. So there will always be a point shift between the two for the total value. Move your military operations track marker the number of spaces equal to the operations value of the card played. So if you play a very high operations value card to do a coup, you're going to go up very high on your required military operations. It's not just 1 per coup, it's the value of the card. Okay? Any coup attempt in a battleground country, so the blue ones, right, degrades the DEFCON status 1 level toward nuclear war. And when you do that, then it becomes that you can do no coup realignments in areas. So starts in Europe, then adds Asia, then adds the Middle East. Cards that give a player a free coup attempt in a particular region may ignore the geographic restrictions of the current DEFCON level. Okay, that's cool. However, a free coup attempt used in a battleground country still degrades the DEFCON level. So even like if we were already at DEFCON 4 and a coup attempt card gave you a free coup attempt in East Germany, right? It could be a valid target. You could do it, but then it would still degrade the DEFCON status afterwards because it's a battleground country. Okay? The space race. The space race track has a marker for each superpower. Operations points may be used to move to the next box on the track. To do so, discard a card with an operations value equal to or greater than the number shown on the box into which you are attempting to advance. Yeah, so that's on the bottom. 2 ops, 2 ops, 2 ops, 2 ops, 3 ops, 3 ops, 3 ops, 4 ops. Okay. Roll the die. That's the other trick. You have to roll the die. If the number falls within the range listed below the target box, move your marker to the new box. So to get an Earth satellite, you have to spend at least 2 ops points. You can spend more, but then you have to roll a die, and on a 1 to 3, you advance. So there's that extra risk involved with the die roll. A player may only discard 1 card per turn in an attempt to advance the space race, unless the space race track special abilities and certain events may let you discard multiple cards or advance their mark on the space track. So for instance, two space race cards per turn. If you get an animal in space, from that point on, you're allowed to attempt 2 space race actions per turn. So a turn is 1 full set of our rounds. So 6 rounds each new turn. Okay. And within a turn, there's each round there's 2 phases, right? Each player gets a phase. Okay. Advancing on the space race points results in victory points, or track results in victory points, which you noted, right? There's the 2 and the 1, or the 2 and the 0. When you hit those specific locations, first one in gets more. When a card is used for the space race, the event does not occur, and the card is placed in the discard pile. So if you do space race with an opponent's event card, it doesn't trigger the event. It doesn't count as operations. You're just doing space race with it, regardless of how many points it is.
Yeah, so I'm trying to take everything in.
I totally get it. So if I wanted to use this card, right, as the Soviets, as a space race card, even though it's a event for you, it doesn't trigger the event because I'm using it for space race, not for operations. If a player reaches the final box of the space race, they cannot play any more cards in the space race without the game. Makes sense. So we talked about the fact that the cards, those were all the operations. We talked about events, which are specific to the cards, right? So you're gonna have to read the cards to know what all of the different events are because they're all unique. Okay, some of them have, some of them have very specific requirements. Some of them are just generic, let you do special things, add influence to the board, things like that. Okay. And like I said, also in here there are scoring events and other headlines. I'm trying to remember if the headlines actually say headlines. I don't have any in hand, so I really couldn't tell you.
I don't either.
No.
Well, I mean, nothing that says that.
Let's see here. Let's look through the late war game cards and see if we can see one here that shows actual headline, just real quick. I do see these cards that have red underlining, so I'm wondering if that's a headline. Oh, no, that's right. You get to choose. That's right. So scoring cards are must plays. Hey, Majestic, how's it going? Hope you like a little Twilight Struggle with your dinner. That is not ramen. His favorite ramen place closed permanently. He was devastated.
Yeah. So
yes.
when are the scoring cards played?
They are a must play during your turn, but you can choose when, I think, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clarify here. So at the beginning of every game sequence, you improve DEFCON status. You deal the cards out. Each player secretly selects a card from their hand. Once both players have made their choice, they reveal their cards to each other immediately. These are called headline cards, and their events occur in this phase. If the event title has an asterisk, removed from the game. The card with the higher operation value occurs first. In the event of a tie, the US player's event occurs first. So headlines are one-time start of turn events that you choose to play. Scoring cards may be played during the headline phase. However, they are considered to have an operations value of 0 and always occur second. If both players select a scoring card as their headline card, the US player's scoring card occurs first. I got spicy enchiladas since the world hates me, and so you will now hate the world. I need to strong arm a friend into playing some of these war games with me. Yeah, I mean, this is, as far as war games go, this one doesn't feel as much war to me as just area control with card play. So, I mean, like a coin game, I think is a little different, right? Where you're playing that counter insurgency type games. Like I played with a Game Storm. That was because that felt like regional position mattered. Like you're actually moving military units. Where this is just kind of abstract a little bit. So anyway, headlines happen first. Players must play a headline event, regardless of whether the event helps them or their opponent. So if you have a handful of cards that are for me, it doesn't matter. You still gotta play one. The China card may not be played during the headline phase. Unless the headline event specifically mentions operations points, neither player receives operations points from cards played during the headline phase. And then, as I said, turns 1 through 3, we take 6 actions, and then after that, 7 actions. The USSR player always plays first. Actions required by a card must be resolved before the next player starts his or her action round by playing the card. And so we go back and forth playing cards. The player whose action round is underway is called the phasing player. Ordinarily, a player will have a card left over after all action rounds are completed. This card is considered held and may be played in subsequent rounds. Scoring cards may never be held.
Right, yeah.
If a player has insufficient cards to complete the remaining action rounds, they must sit out of the remaining action rounds while their opponent completes their turn.
Say that again?
If you run out of cards before you run out of actions, you just sit out until your opponent finishes up. Then we check the military operations status. Reveal held card. We don't have to do that because that's for like tournament or competitive play. That's just to prove you aren't holding a scoring card. But I think we'll be pretty much fine. Flip the China card. If China card was passed face down during the turn, flip it face up now. So right, if I pass you the China card, it has to be flipped over because we can't both use it in the same turn.
Right.
And then advanced turn marker, and then after turn 10, final scoring. But I don't think we're going to reach that point.
No.
So we've talked about all the basics.
So you said if I run out of cards before I run out of points.
Before you run out of actions.
Actions.
Because you're going to have 6.
Okay.
So you have 8 cards in hand. You're going to play 1 as a headline, and you're going to have 7 left.
Right.
Generally, you're only going to use 1 card per
Right.
per
Okay.
phase.
Yeah, I just don't know how that would happen, but
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe there are cards that let you either lose cards or gain cards, or you make it steal cards. I don't know what it means, but so now it's just a matter of us choosing a headline.
so the operations points are determined by the card.
The number.
Yeah.
So
And does it matter whether it's red or white?
it does matter. So if it's white, that's for you.
Yeah.
And that means that I won't get an event out of it. If you play a card that is split or red,
Right.
and you use it for operations, I still get the event.
Right.
And if I played white, you would get the event.
Yeah.
That's going to be my headline.
All right. I don't know what I'm doing, so.
Yeah, neither do I.
Okay.
Okay. Early War, Red Scare Purge, and the Truman Doctrine. So I have a higher value, so mine's going to go first.
Mm-hmm.
All further operations cards played by your opponent this turn are -1 to their value to a minimum value of 1.
Okay.
Remove all USSR influence markers in one uncontrolled country in Europe. Okay, well, you've got lots of options.
I do, yeah.
And now I wish I hadn't stacked 2 up in Austria.
Yeah.
And a poke in the eye.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, then now all of your cards are -1 for operations for the rest of this turn.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to go. All right, I'm going to play UN Intervention. Play this card simultaneously with a card containing your opponent's associated event. The event is canceled, but you may use its operations value to conduct operations. The canceled event card returns to the discard pile. It may not be played. This may not be played during the headline phase. So I'm going to get 3 operations points from this card, and you don't get the event from it.
Mm-hmm.
And with those 3 operations, I guess.
Is any card played as a space? Yeah, any card can be played as a space race card.
True.
That's okay. I'm just making sure that
Just has to be worth 2 operations points. Okay, minimum of 2 operations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to return my influence to Austria. And I will add influence to Lebanon, which allows me to control it. And those are discard. Oh, and the China card is worth a victory point for the player who's holding it at the end of the game.
Okay.
At the end of turn 10.
So if I play one in my country, I play it for the operations points or the headline.
The event, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Event.
And then of course, if you choose operations points, then you have a number of things you can do with those points. Or like you were saying before, if it's worth at least 2 points, remember after deducting the 1,
Yeah.
you could use it for the space race once per turn. Well, would you? You're playing just 3 operations, and you
Yeah,
would
I'll
influence
I'll
in
get 2 Taiwan.
Taiwan. Okay.
And since you don't have any there, it's just 1 point per.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And 1 in Algeria. Okay. Perfect.
This goes here.
Yep. I'm going to play Vietnam Revolts. Add 2 USSR influence in Vietnam, which is enough to control. And for the remainder of the turn, the Soviet player may add 1 operations point to any card that uses all points in Southeast Asia.
You may add 1 operations point to
any card that if I spend all of its points in Southeast Asia, which is just those what,
Right.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I were to play like right now, like if I were to put the China card to play now, I would actually get 6 operations points out of it because it's worth 4 plus 1 if I use it all in well, I guess it's Asia, not Southeast Asia. So well, they're split. No, is it not? That's interesting. I guess not. Southeast Asia specifically. No, I guess it's both because technically these locations are Asia and Southeast Asia. Although it's interesting that they show Southeast Asia as the. But well, Europe is too. So Europe counts both. Southeast Asia, I guess it's just these. So that wouldn't count. It would be worth 5, not 6, because Asia is strictly not the split colors. So this will be removed from the game after the end of the turn, and you use that as well. So that's removed also. Let's see, this will be your second action, correct?
Yeah. We'll play the Formosan Resolution. Taiwan should be treated as a battleground country for scoring purposes. If the U.S. controls Taiwan when the Asian scoring card is played, or during final scoring at the end of turn 10, Taiwan is not is not a battleground country for any other game purposes.
So it's only a battleground country for scoring.
Yes, for scoring purposes. If the U.S. controls Taiwan when the Asia scoring card is played, okay.
Oh, but it says this card is discarded after the U.S. plays the China card. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so right now what that card does is it changes Taiwan to a battleground country for the purposes of scoring only.
Right.
But yeah, if you ever use the China card, then that gets discarded.
I don't know. Okay.
Which is kind of, good late game.
Yeah, it's not gonna do any good. Now I'm just gonna play it for its shit.
For its operations.
Sure. Yeah, my 1 point.
Dicey says we don't drink enough around here. Thank you, Dicey, for consuming beverages. I do need to get this thing consumed, so I appreciate the reminder. Jason's gonna need more cooling for his brain. We're gonna burn our brain cells out here pretty good. So you play. Oh, it was just one. Yeah. That was a rude card I played earlier.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that every one of my cards, I played. Yeah.
Are gonna be bad for you later. Let's see here. I'm going to play this card for operations, and I'm going to put influence in Southeast Asia, which will make it count for 4. So we'll put 1 in Laos, Cambodia. We'll put actually I have to put at least 2 in there because I'm only connected to Vietnam. Well, yeah, so it all has to come from Vietnam. So I guess Laos, Cambodia, and Thailand are getting 2 each. And so I didn't play it as an event, so it does not get removed.
Right.
I think this game is a stretch for us. We usually play these kind of games.
Well, you know what this makes me think of is, and from what I've read, the little bit that I've read, it reminds me of like the original Axis and Allies or Puerto Rico. Is there's a right way to play it?
Oh, okay.
You know, that's the vibe that I'm getting, and people that played a lot know which events are going to be coming. And they make adjustments to those things early on.
Okay.
Now, we don't know what those are.
We have no idea what that is, so we're just kind of muddling through, which I get. Okay, I guess I can see that.
But, at this point, I have to just,
Well, remember, if it's to my benefit, you could always do a space race action, obviously.
That's true.
To delay and prevent more of benefit for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do this as a space race card.
Okay. So then you need to roll a die because it does count for 2, so you're good there. You did it. So now you can advance your NASA forward to Earth satellite, and that gains you the U.S. 2 victory points. That was it. Not very exciting.
No. Well, yeah. So we've each played 3 cards now? Probably so.
4.
4?
Oh, that's right. I had to spend 2
Yeah.
on my UN one. So yeah, you're correct. 3.
Yeah. So we'll be playing 3 more?
Yes. Let's do a space race. Success. I will gain a victory point. So is anybody doing anything as exciting as mulling over the Cold War strategies of political influence in across the globe? Because this is pretty heady stuff, let me tell you. Honestly, part of this is just before my time, but
A lot of it is, yeah.
not as much as like. I understand that there's a. It might be a coin game that's the Middle East, like the Gulf War. I don't remember what the title is. I'm fighting with an old retirement account trying to get it moved. Well, that's exciting. Also, BGA games. Well, there's that too. That's the way you occupy the time in between the long pauses in your chat session with somebody. It's like, well, all right, they're taking a while to look at some information. I'm going to get a game of Can't Stop In or something.
I just don't know.
What games are you playing, Dicey?
Yeah.
So you're going to play Early War, NATO, play after Marshall Plan or Warsaw Pact, but it's Truman Doctrine. Okay. Well, wait. So can you play it yet?
I can play it for the.
Oh, you're playing it for the operations.
Points.
Okay, and then. Oh, and this would be an event for you, but you're just playing for operations. So you're getting 3 operations points. Okay.
Yeah.
Sipping on tea, mostly fighting the stupid AI. I hate how all chats are AI now. Yeah, that initial information gather is from that. I did the same thing when I took my car in for service. It's like, whoa, well, what are you detecting when you do? Like I said, oh yeah, I having a problem with turning, getting a vibration, so it asks a bunch of questions. Yeah. Earl Grey. Lovely. I missed it. What'd you do? Spreading influence throughout where? Europe? Oh, you bolstered Egypt and Iran. Excellent. You've triggered my trap card. I was playing Earth, but my opponent bailed, so thinking about reading. Oh. I hate when that happens. Alright, I will play Nasser. Add 2 USSR influence in Egypt. Remove half of the US influence in Egypt.
I hope this balances out at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, of my cards, 5 of them were at least beneficial to you, and one of them's a scoring card.
Oh, and you have to play the scoring card.
And I have to play the scoring card, so I literally had, and one of them won't play unless I play the Warsaw Pact, which benefits you.
Right.
So I literally had 1 card I could play for its action. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't have the Marshall Plan.
Nope.
Twilight Struggle. Hey, Ritu, how you doing? Would you care to consume beverage with me?
Sure. People can just make you pee all night.
Mm-hmm. That's their objective.
Yes.
Really, is just to see how many times they can send us to the bathroom.
Ooh, well, I'm gonna get a catheter.
We're on to you.
All right. Well, shit.
Adult diapers are so much cheaper, though.
Yeah. Well.
All right, so let's see.
Okay.
I guess then, it's one more card. We should have one more card each to play, or two.
Well, I started with 7.
Well,
8.
technically you start with 8, but then you played the headline, so you had 7, and then you play 6 actions.
So I should have 2 more to play.
Is it your turn, or it's?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I just didn't answer. So
Okay.
it's your turn. So it's your 5th action.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gang's all here. Oh no. What has happened? Now we have more light.
That time of day.
More light. Here comes the sun. Na, 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 na.
Okay. I'm gonna do a space race.
Alexa,
You can only do one per turn.
close living room right.
All right. I'll play that, so you'll get the.
Hey, help me out. You're gonna play that. Okay, so you're playing it for 1 operation.
Yeah.
Remove all U.S. influence in Cuba. Well, okay, there isn't any, so that
But
works.
you get the.
Oh,
you
I
get-
gained 1.
Yeah.
Is that enough to control it? No. It's just I get it. What does it say?
No, USR gains sufficient influence in Cuba for control.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So these are the options that I've had.
That's gross.
So far, I'm not in love with this.
My eyes. Alexa, close dining room main.
By the way, the weather's pretty decent here.
Why didn't that work?
All right. Well,
Help me out.
it's your turn.
Alexa, close dining room.
Hey. Sadly, I haven't had a chance to play it as often as I'd like. Yeah. I mean, I think that's most of my games, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I would always like to play my games more often than I like. All right, so the question is, do I play the China card here? I like this card. All right, I'm going to take the action on this one. Early war, CumCon, the Council for Mutual Economic Assistance. Add 1 USSR influence to each of 4 non-US controlled countries in Eastern Europe. The only bummer about this is that I have to spread them out. So we'll toss 1 in Austria. I guess I can just bump that up to 3.
Willy Wally.
I'm going to go ahead and shore these up. And then I will toss a 2nd in Yugoslavia. I want the Yugo. And that's removed. So I have removed several cards. Funnily, I tend not to like 2-player games, so Twilight Struggle and Sekigahara are big exceptions. This is actually only the 2nd time I've played. Oh, there's an action round track. We could actually be using that to keep track of how many turns we're supposed to get. Hey, and there's an action ground marker
Mm-hmm.
that tells you whose phase it is.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Middle East scoring. Yeah. Wow. All right. So
I don't have an option, right? That's the
right.
one I
Yeah, you have to play it.
Yeah.
So both sides score. So presence is 3, which means you have to have influence in at least one Middle East country. We both have presence. Domination means that you have to have. Is it control? Remind me here. Control more countries and more battleground countries in the region than opponent. Must control at least 1 non-battleground and 1 battleground.
So it doesn't apply.
Yeah, because I don't control. I think I have more territory coverage, but I don't control
Yeah. But I'm
One
the
of
only one that
each.
controls the country.
a battleground.
But I want to control.
Well, no, I control Lebanon.
Oh, you do. Okay. Yeah.
But neither of us meets the criteria for domination,
Yeah.
so nobody scores anything because it's offset. So I guess that works. Oh, it does say +1 VP per controlled battleground country in the region, which is still 1 for each of us. +1 VP per controlled country adjacent to the enemy superpower, which is neither. All right. Well, that was an uneventful scoring card.
Yep.
All right. So that's 6. So now, do they don't have the actual? Why don't they have the turn process on here? Instead, I have to look in here. 35 stream streak. Man, I'll tell you what, you are out of control. You got to build it up on your other account, don't you? Sorry, I'm always looking up here at the camera. I'm not used to seeing you guys down here. Yes. So headline phase, action rounds. Check military operations stats. None of us did any military operations, did we?
What qualifies as a military operation?
Coup.
Okay.
So neither of us did a coup. So none of us. Technically, we each scored 5 points because our military operations were below the DEFCON status. But that's okay. Maybe if I can find the oomph, I'll pull out Fields of Fire. Ooh. Tell me more. Then with that, we reveal a held card, but we don't have to do that. You already played your scoring card. It just says you have to reveal may not be held. So
Am I obligated to hold this card?
yes. You don't get to discard your held card until you reach Eagle or Bear has landed on the space race. And with that, then the China card would flip. We don't need to. Then we advance the turn marker, so we're actually on turn 2. And then we begin the game sequence again. So we're going to improve DEFCON status, which we can't. And we're going to deal cards. Each player has dealt enough cards to bring their hand size to 8. There's already a card left there. We will definitely be shuffling the discard pile back in at some point. All right. And now we have our headline phase. Oh, and this is now done. That. Speaking of bad draws. If you play a card for operations and this event is associated only with your opponent, so the split cards, I was wrong. That doesn't trigger for your opponent.
Right. No, I didn't think you did. Yeah. Did you say that?
I said that originally. But I had a card that had a split, and it's like, but that doesn't make any sense.
plays first now?
Russia always plays first.
Well, we gotta do our headline.
We do have to do our headline. Jeez.
No.
All right, parts. I think I figured out something. We'll see how good it is.
Okay, now this is ridiculous. I don't. Yeah, I gotta do this.
Oh, hang on.
So.
Ready?
Yep.
2?
As well.
2. Okay, so you go first.
Okay.
What do you got?
I add sufficient U.S. influence in either Yugoslavia, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, or Czechoslovakia to equal USSR influence.
Okay. So 2 to Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and that's removed from the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Korean War. North Korea invades South Korea. Roll 1 die and subtract 1 for every U.S.-controlled country adjacent to South Korea, which is none. USSR victory on modified die roll 4 to 6.
Oh, wait a minute. For every U.S.
Controlled.
controlled. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That. Victory on 4 to 6. USSR adds 2 to military ops track. Effects of victory. USSR gains 2 victory points and replaces all US influence in South Korea with USSR influence, which I didn't succeed, so that's great. Now, time to do stuffs. I'm going to play this for 4 operations points. I'm going to put 2 influence in Iran. Oh, wait. I'm going to put 1 influence in Iran. That cost me 2 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put 2 influence in Afghanistan.
without showing you what my cards do, I'm going to show you again.
It's a lot of red. I actually have a quite a bit of white in my
Yeah.
hand also. I'm not super excited about it, believe me.
All right, this seems like it's. Am I first?
I went.
You went, okay. I think that this will be relatively harmless for me.
Early war, so you're playing for ops?
Yeah. Well, I can't play for the.
Decolonisation. Oh yeah, you won't play for that. USSR may relocate up to 4 influence points to non-US controlled countries. No more than 2 influence may be placed in the same country. And in a non-US controlled country. Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But at least for my benefit, you're not actually adding influence
Yeah, yeah.
on the overall total, but
So I can relocate 4 of us to non-US controlled countries. Okay. I don't have a problem with this. I am going to move 1 influence to South Korea. That's white 4. I'm sorry. Does the event happen before or after your operations?
good question. You tell me.
It's up to you.
Oh,
I'm operating as if it does happen before, but you can choose.
okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want to see what I do before you take your actions?
Probably,
So
yeah.
so I should do my event first then. Let's move these 2 here. I've got 1 more. I'm not sure. I was not prepared for this. Let's move 1. Well, doesn't matter. Let's move 1 from back to Iran. Sure. Probably not a great idea. Actually, you know what? That's dumb. I will move 1 from Egypt to Sudan. There we go. Yeah, and I think the advantage of that is that now that you've seen what I've done, now you get a chance to perhaps counteract a little bit.
Right. I'm just changing up here.
Is he asking to come in?
I
'Cause I
guess.
can get him. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're right.
Thank you.
You bet. Oh, it said, he said no more than 2 can be placed in the same country. I assume you didn't do that.
I did not. I moved
Yeah.
I moved 2 from Afghanistan to Pakistan. Everything else was ones.
Hi. You asked to come in. You were let in. Go lie down.
All right.
Malaysia? There's nothing Malaysia.
All right. This is discarded now.
Alright, this is me. I'm going to play the China card.
Okay, what does it do?
It gives me 4 operations, and it's worth +1 operations value if they're all played in Asia,
Okay.
which they are about to be. I'm going to put 3 influence in India, 1 influence in North Korea, and 1 influence in South Korea. No, not South Korea. Afghanistan. And now this is yours,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll flip at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Easy.
Need another action round track down here.
Fucking reach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just grab a die.
That's true. Now you're thinking. Oh, I got lots of dice. Oh, I have this really large, obnoxious dice.
Sweet.
I think this is 3, right?
That's the right colors.
Yeah. No, except for the yellow. Yeah.
This is what?
I think this is your 3rd
Well,
action.
I tell you, we need to figure out how to keep track of this.
That's why
because-
I'm-
That's for okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 6 cards left, and I had 8 to start with.
I have 6 cards, but I played the China card, so
Okay.
this will be your 3rd action.
Yep.
We got there. We got there.
All right. I shall do this for the space race.
Space race. Okay, so you need to roll a 1 to 4. You have done it. Now you can play 2 space race cards per turn. So, and that counts now. So, like next action, if you wanted to, you
Right.
could do it again. All right, 4th action.
of course, that die's not big enough. We get play 7 cards this turn.
We'll get there, yeah. After, not this turn, that's in the
We don't?
fourth round. Fourth turn, we'll start doing 7.
All right.
And we'll change it out. Oh boy. This feels kind of weak. I'm going to play this for 1 ops. And we're going to put it in Afghanistan. You know, you were talking about like early game scenario, and there's an entry in here toward the back, right before the actual like walkthrough extended play example where they say a late war scenario. If you've played with your Twilight Struggle as much as I have, you may find the early and mid-war event cards look a little worn compared to the less often used late war events. For those of you who would like to dive right into the post-Quagmire era and try out the cool possibilities, here's a scenario that cuts to the chase. And so they basically tell you, here's how you set the board,
Right.
and then I think you start on turn 8. So you're just playing late game. So like you said,
Yeah.
it seems like extended play reveals a typical result.
So, yeah.
It's a cat party. Dance it up, Ritsu.
Well, because I can, I'm going to go ahead and space race.
Okay, now you need to roll a 1 to 3. No. Alright, turn 5. Time for me to play Asia scoring. We both have presence, right? You just have to have influence. Presence, control. Oh, control 1 or more countries in a region. So you do not have presence in Asia, because you don't control any countries in Asia.
Well, it's in Australia because no.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It is. Australia is part of
Is
Asia because it's the solid orange.
Yeah.
So
No, it's interesting. I noticed that the turkey is actually dark blue.
yes, they did say some of that. That even though geographically it doesn't fit,
Yeah.
geopolitically it does. And there's a couple like Libya and Egypt being part of the Middle East.
Right.
Okay, so we both have presence in Asia. I believe I have domination because I control more countries and I control at least 1 battleground and 1 non-battleground.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have control. So in Asia, then domination scores 7, presence scores 3. So in this case, I think I gain. It's a differential, so I gain 4 points.
Okay.
Oh, +1 per controlled battleground country in the region, which I control 3. +1 per country controlled that is adjacent to an enemy superpower, which
It's none.
is none. Right. Japan would have worked if I controlled Japan.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to host the Olympic Games.
I have so many cards in hand. How is this possible?
I don't know. Player sponsors the Olympics. Opponent may participate or boycott. If opponent participates, each player rolls 1 die, with the sponsor adding 2 to his roll. High roll gains 2 victory points. Reroll ties. If opponent boycotts, degrade DEFCON 1 level, and the sponsor may conduct operations as if they played a 4-ops card.
Wow, really? So either I can possibly give you points, but then you don't get any ops.
Right.
Or I can boycott, lower DEFCON. And you get a +2?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I have a surplus of points right now. 2. You got 5. Yeah. So I lose 2 points?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I gained 2 points.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm doing.
But no ops, so now it's me. I must be ahead a turn. It's a second tea kind of night. I mean, I've got just one massive tea. I don't know about you. Just gonna consume beverages. Thank you, Shroom, for the reminder. Consume beverages. Engaging in Cold War is thirsty work. Okay, so you have 3 cards left.
Mm-hmm.
Then we must be ahead a turn. This must be the start of turn 5.
How many do you have left?
I have 4, but I sent the China card as one of my 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that then ultimately you haven't lost any additional cards, right?
So why would you have had 9?
Well, 8 in hand plus the China card.
Okay.
And if you started with 8 and played a headline card, you still have two more cards to play.
Right.
So this should now be turn 5. And I am going to space race that. The Marshall Plan. I am good to advance. I can play 2 space race cards this turn. So another interesting thing about the game, right, is that we've scored 2 areas, right? We've scored the Middle East, we've scored Asia.
Yeah.
And there might be a third one in here, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Right. So what ends up happening is that, like, I think 2 more scoring zones come in the mid game, but there's a lot of cards here. But those 2 could come back around.
Right.
Because they don't get removed.
Yeah.
Wally.
Mwah. He said. That was kind of like a mark.
Yeah.
The sound of a hair-lipped dog. Mark, mark. That's you.
He gave minimal effort. He didn't even move.
Oh no. Yeah, I know he's just laid out there like. It's that time of night. You should try a coup. You need some military operations over there.
What's that?
You need some military operations over there.
Like what?
I don't know. Well, a coup is the only option, really.
Yeah, well,
Unless you have a card.
Or realignment roll, I suppose.
Realignment roll doesn't count as a military operation.
Okay.
Only the coup.
So literally, the coup is the only military operation?
As far as I understand.
Okay. Why didn't you put required coups? Would have saved them a lot of type work.
Right. Because it's got these cool rules with all the, like, you know, section dot paragraph rules. You gotta fill out the space.
Red line versus black line, red dotted line versus black solid line.
Well, these are like they're supposed to be brown or something. But anyway, these are within zone. Red is between zones.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, realignment rules don't count as military actions.
Wally, shush.
He's just revving his engine.
I mean, I know things I can do, but I don't know why I would do them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, there's lots of options, right? It's like, well, do you want to spread influence somewhere to kind of prepare for other scoring. You know, there's lots of options. And I get the impression in the early game there's a lot of that. You kind of feel like you're drowning, but once you get to mid game, I think your options kind of become a little clearer, maybe. U.S.-Japan Mutual Defense Pact? Oh, no!
I would play it that, but that would only give me 3 influence. If I play it for the operations, I can have that same 3 influence plus 1 more to put somewhere.
Yeah, that's fair. So you're you're doing it for operations?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because if I really want Japan, I can just control Japan right now and place an influence somewhere else.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know why I would do any of that.
I mean, it would protect Japan from me being able to just hit it from remote. I would have to actually get people in there.
Yeah.
Or influence in there.
So I will put 3 in there, I guess. That leaves me with 1 more.
Okay. You know, Ritu, if you've got 35 stream streak, your points must be racking up. I'm wondering when the next game request is coming in. I heard Majestic was eyeing my library the other day. Ooh, I just thought of a really good challenge for the kids. I think it'd probably be like a 100,000 point challenge, but I could make a list of games that I don't have, and if they achieve the objective, then they could choose the game I have to get.
Molly, hush. Quiet.
Or maybe put it to a vote, I guess.
Yeah.
Unlock the poll. What do you guys think? Is that any good? I also need to figure out some charity stuff. I definitely want to do some fundraising for Dornbeckers and Shriners.
Nice.
Maybe I combine it with a subscription promotion. Algeria. Okay. So now we're on 6. Should be my last one. Some possibilities.
That's hilarious.
I'm up 4 points. I don't even know what's coming. I have no influence in the Western Hemisphere except for Cuba. Maybe I should do something about that. I don't think I can really do much about that. All right. Here's a fun one for you. I'll give you a little benefit. Containment. All further operations card played by the U.S. this turn add 1 to their value, to a maximum of 4. But I get 3 operations for it. One thing I didn't make clear, or at least one thing I didn't really point out, it says when you go to place your influence, it has to be connected to places you already have influence in.
Well, I think I've been doing that.
But you can't chain it out. So for instance, if I were to place influence here,
Right.
I couldn't then place influence here
Okay.
in the same turn. So it has to be based on what your established map scenario is then. I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I don't think we've been doing enough of it that it really matters. All right, I'm going to do 1 there and 1 there. And I wanted to point it out because like I can't
Right.
do that this turn. And here we go. I got one left. Let's that seems bad. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in Austria. We'll get that one controlled. How do you like them apples? Alright, Jason. This is now out because it was actually you got the event for it. He's so disgruntled. The kids aren't even out on the trampoline tonight. It's those darn birds. Oh, those birds.
Wally, quiet.
All right. Well, this only becomes usable because of the event you played.
Oh yeah?
Remaining abdication.
So you're using it for an operation for 2 points?
Yeah, that's the only option I have.
Okay.
Right?
Remove all U.S. influence in Romania. Is there any in there?
Nope.
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
USSR gains sufficient influence in Romania for control. Oh, okay. So where's Romania?
It's right below the S.
Oh yeah. So I get 3.
Yeah.
I already had some in there. So I mean, yeah, you minimize the impact, and now you get 2 influence out of it. So that's, I mean, it's not great, but you minimize the negative impact of the play.
Right.
Reach, are you having fun over there? I see you chatting it up. My little emojis are so tiny and not very moving. Are you influencing Mexico? Okay, so I'm gonna keep closing this one. Hey, time roller, welcome in. Ooh, look at that animated. Look at that animated GIF you've got there. I don't usually see that on my PlayStation, so it's nice to see in the screen. Oh, interesting. That's a good idea. Let's see. Check military operations phase. So, again, we did not. I think I'm considerably lagging behind on the stream. Oh yeah. If you're on your 2 devices, maybe you're just overloading your downloads. You know. So I would technically lose 3 points, but then you would lose 5 points. So the net result is I gain 2 points.
Why do I lose 5 points?
Because you are five operations below the DEFCON status. So you compare your military operations to the DEFCON. That's the number.
That, I didn't understand that rule at all. So.
And it didn't matter for us last time because we were both at -5,
Right.
basically. So.
Okay.
And then this resets. So every turn, if you're not engaging in military operations, in theory, and your opponent is, you'll lose points to them. So it's fine. Everything's fine. The internet's on fire. Okay, so then military operations are checked. We don't have any held cards that are scoring. Again, it's not really that important. I played the one I had. Flip the China card now, so you'll have access to it next turn. advance the turn marker. So we are on turn 3. So we're going to deal ourselves up to 8. How many cards do you have in hand? 1?
1. Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 2. Three, 4, 5. I'm stopping at 6, and a 7 for you.
All right.
So at the beginning of the next turn, for turn 4, we shuffle in the mid-war cards. We don't shuffle in the discards. So we just shuffle the mid-war cards right into the deck and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So those discards then get significantly delayed. Okay. They give you these little markers to help you remember when you can't perform realignment
Quiet.
coup attempts as the DEFCON
No.
level degrades.
No.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm a fan of this game.
No? Have you played any games like it? Where the cards do what they're doing?
I don't know. The randomness is killing me. Again, in my hand, I have one card that's exclusively white.
Wow.
Yeah,
How am I getting so lucky? Or does Russia have an advantage in the early game?
I don't know.
Maybe they do. I guess we could after we're done.
Wally,
Which I mean,
Quiet.
if you want to play the turn, we can. Or we. I mean, if you want to stop, you can. I think it'd be interesting to look at the deck and say,
Yeah,
how is it balanced? Is it balanced one way?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, you wouldn't think early in the Cold War that
Did the Soviets have a role? Were they already
they
rolling on
didn't
this
even
or
have
not?
the bomb.
I know. That's kind of what I'm wondering. Is like I don't know if they're representing that the Soviets had an advantage early on, or
Not only do I only have one card that's exclusively for me, 2 of my cards are scoring.
you have both scoring cards in your hand,
Yep.
so you have to play both of those.
No, I have 2 scoring cards in my hand,
Oh,
which means there was 2
There-
that we hadn't played.
there are. Well, no. Remember, I shuffled the
Oh, that's right.
discard pile back in.
There,
So
There's
if
2
you
in here,
Mid
one
East
we
and
played,
Asia.
and
Oh, so
there's
you
one-
have there's a third one.
yes,
So in those
Yeah.
8 cards that were the 4 cards that were left in the deck,
yeah,
one of those was a scoring card.
yeah. So anyway, but okay.
Quiet.
Sure, we'll play that one because it. Yeah, okay, I got it.
Oh, it's got to be Europe.
Yep.
Because because I remember Michael and I drew that, and we hadn't done the influence in there.
Yeah.
And well, how did I win though? I didn't control all of the battlegrounds. I didn't think. Maybe I did.
Well, you didn't even seed Europe.
Yeah, we didn't seed Europe, but I was moving influence in it.
Yeah.
I think we were evaluating our
Yeah.
control wrong. All right, so headline.
Yep.
2 and 2. You start.
Okay.
Oh, you're doing the Formosan Resolution this time.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Taiwan is now a battleground for the purposes of scoring, for mid-game scoring and end-game scoring, but not for anything else, which I don't know what that would be.
It is only a battleground state for the U.S. Taiwan
okay.
shall be treated as a battleground country for scoring purposes if the U.S. controls Taiwan when the Asian scoring card is played.
So it wouldn't count for me for a battleground
Right.
if the Asian scoring card played.
Yeah.
And if you play the China card, this gets discarded.
Right.
Okay. Got it. And then that gets removed from play. So if you want, we can remove this from play now because we have the identifier here.
Okay.
And then if you play the China card, it will get discarded.
Right.
Yeah, Taiwan battleground country for scoring. For the U.S. All right. Now we're doing the games. You know this one.
Yep.
Would you like to
No.
participate with me getting a +2, or would you rather boycott and degrade definitely?
I'll just participate.
All right. So I'm getting a +2.
You win.
I win the Olympics and gain 2 victory points.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's so nice that we can still foster international cooperation in sportsmanlike competition,
Right.
comrade. The Olympics. I'm going to use this for operations. 3 operations points. So bad. Shush. Interesting.
Now that I told you I have the scoring card. Sorry.
You did, although this was a good play for me anyway.
Yeah.
Based on my hand composition,
Yeah.
that's a better play. Oh, those are not controlled. Those are only 3s. All right. I don't know if you're familiar. There's a game like this called 1960.
That's about the
race for
yeah.
presidents for the Kennedy.
Yeah.
I don't remember who his opponent was.
Kennedy?
Yeah.
Nixon.
not 1960.
Yes,
I
it
don't think.
was.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Look it up. Yeah.
I'm terrible with history. So the next, it was Nixon, whatever. So it's the 1960 presidential race, which I've played with somebody who was very passionate about the game, and so he of course destroyed me. Which I mean did kind of turn me off of the idea of the game, but
Yeah.
this game does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same game, just with a different map.
Yeah.
Because they have the same, it's the cards with the operations to be able to
Yeah.
have political influence. So I don't think it incorporates as much of the space races. And I think there might be a couple of fewer elements. Because it's all about electoral votes, right? So it's just how many votes do you have from the territories that you're influencing. But none of the extra, other stuff like the military requirements or anything.
Yeah.
So you just placed 4, is that correct?
That was the big one where it was. I think it was it the first televised presidential debate, and Nixon just looked like Nixon.
Yeah, you look like Nixon, exactly.
Sweating with his big jowly jowls.
Yeah, and just looking frumpy and. Okay, so I set myself up to be able to play this card. So 3 ops for you. You get to remove 1 USSR influence from 3 countries in Eastern Europe.
1 and 3.
And I'm going to make you do that first before I place mine.
Yep.
So it's at least a wash for me.
Yeah. Was Austria right?
Yep.
Same for Germany.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I wasn't expecting that, per se.
Well, again, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, East Germany and Poland are going to get the two of the influence that you just took away.
Yeah.
And you pulled one from Austria, which that's probably fine. Let's see here.
Well, that's just it. Again, it's not. That's why I asked you if you played it a lot, because I know it's the kind of game that if somebody's played it and the other person hasn't,
it makes it unbalanced, absolutely. Yeah. And no, I have not. Just put them right back where you took them. that was a non-turn.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is 2, I think. Yeah. No, I haven't. I bought it because I know it's like a highly regarded 2-player game, and I just don't have a lot of 2-player games in my library. So I felt like, okay, Michael was, we were kind of winding up his time, and I had talked to him, and he said that he was kind of interested in playing. I'm like, perfect, I'll pick up a copy of it. Why not?
Expensive.
Well, it wasn't cheap. I mean, it was like $80, I think.
Really?
Yeah. But I was okay with that because, I got it at Guardian over in Aloha.
Okay.
But it was brand new.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem putting it on my shelf because it is a game that I know is highly regarded. And I'm sure that in the rest of my life, I will get many opportunities to put it on the table.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Well, it has to have the randomness. Or else it's not a game. It's just,
then you're just
reliving history.
Playing out history, which is silly. You know?
Yeah, but
to be able to make those decisions differently. So but I think you're right. It's one of those games where if you don't play it a lot, you probably don't get as much out of it as far as developing the strategies.
Sure.
Because there's so many things that can happen.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea is just to have the same two people playing the game that are learning it at the same time,
Yeah.
and you watch them slowly evolve the way they operate.
Yeah. All right, I have a captured Nazi scientist.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Advanced player space race marker 1 box. Wow, and you didn't even have to play a card to do it. And now you get 2 points. Well, but I mean, I don't think that doesn't count as one of your 2
Oh, it doesn't?
play for the space
okay.
races this turn.
Or 3. Yeah, 2. No,
Because you'll get a 3rd one now because you can play just to do the operations. Okay. Clearly, the only way I'm going to win is by engaging in war around here.
The only way you're going to win. Where do you think my points are coming from?
Well, you've got a lot of control there in Europe.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't have
Although you
more
get
than
some,
you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 in
You
Europe.
only have 3. Okay, well.
I mean, I'm about to change that, but how many battlegrounds do you have? 2? So you have 2 European battlegrounds, and I have 2 European battlegrounds. So yeah, I guess yeah. Right now we're dead even in Europe. Okay. This is not helpful. This is not helpful. This is tough. Alright, 2 operations. Let's grab Czechoslovakia and Hungary. The Red Scare is real.
Okay. All right, we'll play this for the space race.
Okay. So you're looking at a roll of 1 to 4.
Okay.
Made it. So now I will choose and show my headline card first before you have to choose yours.
Okay.
Now when I get there, if I get there, basically those cancel out.
Yeah.
So you're saying I should be considering my space race, huh?
I'm saying I don't want to play the other cards because the action points that are on them are not better than the benefit that you're going to get.
Right, exactly.
So
better to space race them.
yeah.
Which so there that I guess is that the balancing mechanism when you see hands like that. It's like, well, okay, at least I'm not gonna have to
Early
pass
on
these
doesn't
off.
do you any good because you can only do it once.
True.
Even now I can only do it twice.
And
if
you
it
got
wasn't for
4,
that card, you know, I would still have to play those. And where I get 3 action points, but you get to remove 4 of my influence from other spots.
Oh, that doesn't work.
No,
Yeah.
it's like screw it.
All right, I'm gonna space race this. I'm looking on a 1 to 3. Got 1. Advance me. No points.
All right, we'll do the same thing.
Science. So this is a 1 to 3. Oh no, 3 ops. Oh yeah, you did 3. You got there. What do you?
So I get how many
Nothing.
points?
Oh, 3 points.
You're just rumbling along with the guys. Is that what's going on?
Well, I guess I better space it up while I can here. 1 to 4. Ooh. All right, so I'm canceling out that show headline card first. So now we don't have to do that anymore.
All right, we'll just go ahead and play that.
All right, Europe scoring. So presence, control 1 or more country in a region. We both do. Domination, control more countries and more battleground countries in the region than the opponent, which I think is me now with my last influence
Sure.
because I have 5
Yeah.
and at least 1 of each. So I have domination, but not control. So that's 7 points. Minus 3, so it should be 4. I'm pretty sure I'm doing that right. Yeah, because if you didn't even have presence, then you would not gain the 3 points.
Right.
So yeah, I gained 4 points for that. All right. Oh, that was 5, right? So we have one more turn. Because I only have one more card to play here. Oh no, this is a smart play. I don't necessarily want you to do that though. Well, maybe I should. Okay, I'm going to play Blockade for the event.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the U.S. player immediately discards a 3 or more value operations card, eliminate all U.S. influence in West Germany.
I don't have one.
Okay. So you lose 2 influence in West Germany. That's all it is. And it's not a terrible loss, but I didn't know it was going to give you an out or something. So scoring Asia. Oh.
Because I have to play it, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
See, and that's, I mean, so how much influence did you put out this turn?
4, maybe?
Yeah, I almost wonder if there was an opportunity for you to compete in Asia with that. But I guess you put it in
But
Europe.
I was trying to
you
compete
put
in
it
Europe.
Yeah.
So I had to play both.
Mm-hmm. And I already have Asia
Yep.
dominated.
Yep.
You do have. Actually,
I have presence.
you have presence. Yeah, you just don't have domination because I have more
Yep.
territories controlled. So again, 4 points. Yuck. Yeah, that's gross. Okay, so it's 8:30.
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
think we're at a good stopping point for
Yeah.
now. Although, I mean, I'm sad that we didn't get to the mid-war. I would have liked to have seen maybe what some of these cards do.
Yeah.
But now that we know kind of, okay, so we're at a stopping point, I would like to take a look at the deck composition
Mm-hmm.
and look at the balance
Yeah.
and see if it is weighted to the USSR.
Okay.
If that's the case, knowing that going in,
Yeah.
then either we do one of two things. Either we say, okay, we know that's happening. Whoever's the U.S. is going to be at a disadvantage in the first 3 turns.
Yeah.
And either choose it or randomly draw it. I mean, we could just
Right.
randomly draw who plays what.
Right.
And then be able to get past turn 3 to see how it kind of starts to shift. And don't forget these also. These are all part of that. So, yeah, I'm up 11 points, but I don't think that I don't know that that's a guarantee. So, what did you actually do? Values or just
I did
type?
just type.
Type. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm curious to see how these split out. Okay, yeah. So 3 scoring cards. So in the U.S. value events, there are 12.
14.
So there are 14 Soviet
So
cards.
there's only 2.
And 12
difference.
U.S. cards. And only 2, and yet you were always seeing
Oh,
so many red.
I'm seeing 80% red in my hands.
Yeah, and then these, 6 of these. Well, and also interestingly, what's the value breakdown? So I've got 4 to 1 left to right. What does this symbol mean here, I wonder? So, how many red 4s are there?
There
None.
wasn't any.
So the U.S.
So the Warsaw Pact wasn't even a red 4? That doesn't make any sense.
Where is the Warsaw Pact? No, it's a
That's
3.
three, yeah.
It's a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So red gets more cards, white gets higher values.
Mm-hmm.
How's the distribution look? So they've got 3 4s and 4 3s. Russia gets 6 3s,
Mm-hmm.
5 2s to 3 2s, and then 3 1s to 2 1s. So yeah, so the white cards, U.S. cards, are fewer in number but higher in concentration,
Mm-hmm.
and red is more spread out.
Yeah. But at least,
One of those had a requirement, right?
Yeah.
NATO required the Marshall Plan and
Yeah.
the Warsaw Pact to be able to trigger.
and again, I argue that even though this is the ability is decent, the action points value,
If I had done more in Japan,
right?
that would have mattered.
It would have
to you.
given me enough.
It would have been
to
way better.
control,
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't do anything over there.
No, I will add this to the list of games that I think is a good game that I'll never play again.
I guess it'd be interesting to switch sides.
Sure.
Let you
Yeah.
play Russia and me play the
Yeah.
U.S. to compare the experience and
Yeah.
see if the randomness still falls
Yeah.
lopsidedly.
But Agricola's on that list. I'll never play
You
it
know,
again.
yeah, I agree with Agricola. It's a great game. I struggle with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, and I don't like that idea in my own mind. But there are definitely games. Well, a farming game, right? It's
Well,
that game is doing a thing.
nobody says you have to like all games.
Of course
you
not.
know,
Of
and
course
so
not.
it's-
And there are definitely types I don't
Yeah.
like, but it's just like
I mean, there are excellent movies that I'll never watch again.
yeah,
You know, I mean,
you play it once to experience it. And be
Yeah.
done with it. I guess it would have been nice to set the time aside to at least play the full game, or to a victory condition.
sure.
But
Again, I don't know what I'm doing.
I agree, and
Yeah.
really neither do I, except for the fact that I've played
Yeah.
a similar game
Yeah.
like it long ago. I mean, that was
Yeah.
had to have been at least 15, 20 years ago
Yeah.
now, in 1960. And I don't know which one came first, honestly.
Good question.
Because
This is the more famous of them.
definitely better known. This says 2009. Copyright 2009.
Let me Google it here.
Which came first, 1960 or Twilight Struggle? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, kids, you saw it here. We struggled. It was Twilight. The struggle was real.
2007.
1960?
Yeah.
Ah, so it did come first.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So then this game is kind of the refinement of that. It's interesting. I wonder if going back and playing 1960, it might feel different.
Well, and I'll tell you one of the other things is the fact that all these historical events either are or are not happening bothers me.
Right.
1960, I don't really know what the historical events would be.
You know, there was a
would be-
lot of
yeah.
all of the campaign event. I mean, I remember like the Southern Baptist Conference was in there, you know,
Yeah.
and things like that. So yeah, it doesn't mean as much to me. It's a much narrower time frame, right? You're talking about 9 months basically,
Yeah.
or a year, where this is covering like 45 years, or well, it's 45 to 89, so
Yeah.
44 years.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a struggle in Twilight. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, everybody else seems to like it.
I honestly I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, I appreciate the mechanisms.
Yeah.
I like this mechanism.
Okay.
With the idea again. I mean, but we play other games where cards are multiple things, right? Like Race for the Galaxy, right?
yeah.
Cards are both resources to be spent and items to be played.
I don't think that's the part that bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That asymmetry seemed troublesome.
Yeah.
And I do wonder, I guess this is a much larger stack, right? I wonder if once you get to the mid-war, that kind of balances out
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, it could be one of those things where you have to play it to know how to play the cards.
Yeah.
You can't just step into it and play it.
I am not fond of that concept in games where if you don't know what's coming, you can't play effectively.
Right.
I am not a fan of that. And this game can definitely lead that way. Every card is unique. I mean, besides the operation costs you get out of it, the points, all the events matter, and if you don't know, oh, there's that event that could happen later, I'm gonna hold this card back and wait and see if it happens or comes up.
Yeah.
That would definitely put a new player to a disadvantage. I can understand that. So
And I could download the app and try it again and see if I could learn more. But yeah, it didn't do anything for me.
that's cool. It's okay. I mean, I like I said, I really don't know if I truly like it or not.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't had a chance to play it all the way through. And like you said, 3 to 4 hours. And you said that was 3 to 4 hours for new players. I mean, we played for 2 and we're only on turn 4.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get more actions. That's gonna just take longer.
Yeah.
So definitely something to kind of sit down and muddle through. Anyway, we've analyzed it enough, I think, kids. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's been nice having you. Friday night. I don't know if we're gonna have a stream on Friday. I might try to wrangle Hannah and David in on Saturday to help us with the Emerald Flame, because they're going to be out here on Friday or on Saturday. So we might delay that stream until then. Next Monday, we're going to have Stars of Ikarios again, and hopefully we'll be at full squadron strength again. And then next Tuesday, we're going to take a break for Frosthaven and come back to it the following week. There will still be a stream, there'll still be a game on Tuesday, it just won't be Frosthaven, and we'll talk more about that on that day. I hope you're there for it, but whenever I see you again, it's been great having you. I love you guys. Have a great night.